The Supreme Court has twice ruled that flag burning is protected speech through the Trump administration finding what they believe is a workaround. Writing this, the court has never held that the American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action or that is an action amounting to fighting words is constitutionally protected.
All right. Well, joining us now to break this down is former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky. Andrew, good to see you. Welcome in. Kind of cut and dry, I feel like, as we read in the intro there. Flag burning is protected speech. I think it's abhorrent speech, but it's protected. Even a conservative lion in Justice Scalia sort of made this case. Is this different at all legally, or is this likely to be struck down as well?
Well, flag burning is undoubtedly a despicable act. And when we look at the history of the Supreme Court ruling on it, they've ruled on it that it's expressive conduct that's tantamount to First Amendment speech. But that was limited to the scope of just the question of flag burning. What the order today from President Trump does is effectively place on it the same limitations that any speech would have. So whether it's flag burning or crying fire in a crowded theater, these are things that you can't do if it is going to lead to violence or some sort of uprising, if it's fighting words, these types of words that, or this type of language that has been excluded from First Amendment protection. So I think this does a good job of very clearly delineating that flag burning with those non-First Amendment protected purposes will be handled in a particularly serious fashion.
So can you walk us through an example of what he's trying to do? Like, walk us through what that would look like.
Sure. So if you were to burn a flag in protest and you say, you know, I'm burning this flag to show my disrespect to the country, given all of the issues that it has done to me, that's not a problem. But if you do it and as you're burning it, you say, come rise up with me and let's go fight the man, or if you use that, if you burn a flag and you throw it into a crowd or something like that, that's activity that probably would have been illegal before. But this also now puts an extra criminal aspect to it.
So that's what I was going to say. Is that not already against the law?
It would be. And those examples really touch on the issue of inciting riots or inciting violence. You can't do that even in protest. And so now to do it with a flag involved is essentially that extra criminal aspect.
I want to quickly get to this. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is accusing some of her colleagues of being too partisan, which is kind of rich. She's been taking swipes all over the place in her opinions, almost always in dissent. She's gotten so vitriolic in some of them that even the two other liberals on the court won't sign on to these rulings. It seems like she's really going off and maybe off on a limb or off on an island in the court, because it's starting to rankle some of her colleagues who have slapped her down a few times now in writing.
Well, I think that there's righteously quite a few questions about her role on the court, the questions she asks in oral arguments, some of the comments that she makes in her written rulings. They really do depart quite significantly from what I'll kind of call the legal intelligentsia, whether it's on the left or the right. She does seem to be on her own. And I think bottom line is a nod to the show here, that she has a fundamental inability to conceptualize what the Trump administration is doing, and that Article 2, the article of our Constitution that talks about what the president is allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do, she doesn't see it that way, and she doesn't want to give the executive, at least when it's a Republican, the types of powers that the Constitution clearly says that the executive should have.
You know, and we've seen her chastised by, you know, people with her same mentality on the Supreme Court as well. So I imagine that's got to be a little embarrassing. But not embarrassing for you, because you walk through these legal issues very easily for us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.